Welcome to the Explainer. We're going to be talking about something called the Model Context Protocol. Now, it might sound a bit technical, but trust me, this is a huge deal. It's a tech that's quietly changing everything about how AI works with our apps, and it's basically the key to getting those super smart AI agents we've all been promised.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the big problem that AI tools have right now. Then we'll jump into what the Model Context Protocol, we'll just call it MCP, actually is, and how it's kind of like a universal translator for AI. After that, we'll see how it gives AI agents a massive boost using code, look at how fast it's growing, and then we've got to talk about the serious security side of things.
All right, let's get right into it. To really get why MCP is such a big deal, you first have to understand the problem it's built to solve. I mean, have you ever noticed how even the smartest AI assistants can feel, well, kind of clumsy when you ask them to do stuff with your apps? You know the feeling, right? You ask for something that seems simple, like, hey, just read my last few emails and make a calendar invite, and then you just watch it spin. Or worse, it just times out. The thing is, it's not that the AI is dumb. It's actually a deep-down technical problem, a bottleneck in how these AIs are built to talk to all our different tools. Okay, so problem number one is what you could call tool definition overload. Imagine this. Before the AI even looks at your request, it has to load up the entire user manual for every single tool it might have to use. We're talking about thousands of tools, which can mean hundreds of thousands of tokens. Those are the little pieces of text the AI reads, are gobbled up. It's like having to read an entire library of encyclopedias just to answer one question. Super inefficient and super expensive. And that leads us to the second big headache, intermediate result bloat. Let's say you ask an AI to grab a meeting transcript from your Google Drive and pop it into a note in Salesforce. The old way of doing things is just ridiculous. The AI has to read the entire transcript into its memory, and then it has to spit that entire transcript back out to send it to Salesforce. It's literally like downloading a huge file just to immediately upload it again. It's reading and writing the same giant block of data over and over. What a waste of time and money. So, okay, that's the problem. It's slow, it's clunky, it's expensive. How do you fix it? Well, this is where the Model Context Protocol enters the picture. And it's not just a small fix, you guys. It's a totally new playbook for how AI talks to, well, everything else. So what exactly is MCP? Well, at its heart, it's an open standard. Basically, a common language. The best way to think about it is like a USB port, but for AI. Right? Remember before USB, every single gadget had its own weird, clunky plug? It was a mess. Then USB came along and created one standard that worked for everything. That's exactly what MCP does for AI. It creates one standard way for any AI to connect to any tool or app. And the way it's built is actually pretty straightforward. You've got your host, that's the AI app you're using, like ChatGPT or Claude. That host has a client that handles all the connections. And that client can then reach out and connect to a bunch of different servers. These servers are what expose all the tools and data from the apps you use every day, like Slack, Jira, or even your company's private database. What's really wild is how quickly this all happened. I mean, Anthropic first announced MCP in late 2024. A few months later, get this, its biggest competitor, OpenAI, was already on board. By the end of 2025, the whole thing was handed over to the Agentic AI Foundation. That move cemented it as a truly neutral, open standard for the entire industry. That's lightning fast. Okay, so this standardization is great, but this is where we get to MCP's real superpower. It's not just about making a standard plug. It's about completely changing how the AI interacts with those tools. We're moving away from simple, clunky commands and into the world of actual code. And this is a total game changer. The old way, right, was the AI model calling a tool directly. That's what caused all that token waste we talked about. The new way with MCP, the AI actually writes and runs little bits of code on the fly. So instead of just blindly calling a tool, it writes a quick script to talk to that tool's API. That means it only pulls in the exact bits of data and functions it needs, and nothing more. So here's the bottom line. Before, everything was loaded upfront, and all that data had to flow through the AI's brain. Now, with code execution, tools are loaded only when they're needed. And here's the kicker, the data handling. An agent can now write a tiny piece of code to, say, search a spreadsheet with 10,000 rows, find the 5 rows it needs, and only show those 5 rows to the main AI model. The big, expensive model never even has to see the other 9,995 rows. Huge difference. So what does that actually mean in practice? The results are, well, they're staggering. On a sample task, moving to this code execution model cut token usage by 98.7%. Let me say that again, 98.7%. That's not just a little tweak, that's a revolution in efficiency. And savings like that don't just cut your bill. They make brand new, complex, multi-step AI tasks possible that were just completely out of reach before. Because of that insane efficiency, MCP didn't just get adopted. It absolutely exploded. It's become a core part of the entire AI agent industry, almost overnight, and this whole ecosystem is just booming around it. And the numbers here really speak for themselves. We're talking over 10,000 active public MCP servers out there already. The developer kits, the SDKs, are getting downloaded more than 97 million times a month. And the big AI platforms like Claude, they're building out these huge app stores of connectors, all running on MCP. And this isn't some niche little project. It's backed by the biggest names in the game, the foundation that looks after MCP, co-founded by Anthropic, Block, and OpenAI. And it's supported by, well, basically everyone else. Google, Microsoft, AWS, you name it. That kind of backing is what guarantees that MCP is gonna stick around as a neutral, stable standard for the long haul. Okay, so what does this all mean for you right now? It means you can finally connect your AI agent to the actual tools you use for work every single day. We're talking Salesforce, Jira, GitHub, Slack, all of Google Workspace, even super specific stuff for databases and search. That dream of having one AI assistant that can actually work across all your apps, it's not a dream anymore. It's really happening. But you know how it goes with all this incredible power and connectivity? There's a flip side. When you connect our most powerful AI models to our most sensitive data, you are by definition opening up a whole new and frankly pretty scary frontier for security attacks. The way MCP works, unfortunately, also creates new attack vectors. Bad actors can try to steal your AI computing time, which costs real money. They can secretly inject hidden instructions to hijack a conversation, or they can trick the AI into doing things behind your back. But the really terrifying one is the keys to the kingdom risk. Think about it. If an attacker breaks into just one of your connected MCP servers, they could potentially get access to everything it's connected to. Your email, your files, your company's code, everything. One of the biggest holes is a classic cybersecurity attack, just updated for AI. It's called the confused deputy problem. Basically, an attacker tricks a legitimate server, one you trust, into abusing its power. They can manipulate things like browser cookies to trick the server into skipping the consent screen you'd normally see. And just like that, they can steal an authorization token. And with that token, they've got access to your account, and you never even clicked approve. So, how do we stop this from happening? Well, it all comes down to following really strict security rules. If you're building one of these MCP servers, you have to be paranoid. That means things like using strong authentication, running your servers in isolated containers so a breach can't spread, and for goodness sakes, never ever hard-code your passwords or API keys directly into your code. It's about being smart and locking everything down. When you step back and look at it, MCP isn't just another piece of tech. It is, as experts have said, a foundational standard. It's absolutely essential. You know, the web couldn't have grown without a standard like HTTP. In the exact same way, this new wave of AI agents needs a trusted, open protocol like MCP to really scale up safely and be used everywhere. And that really leaves us with one big final question. We are literally building a universal nervous system for AI. We're giving these agents hands and eyes to see and touch our entire digital universe. So with that kind of incredible power on the table, what's the first truly autonomous AI agent going to do with it? What will it decide to build or to break? The possibilities are amazing, but the responsibility on our shoulders is just as huge.